Good afternoon. Good afternoon, y'all. All right. I think we're back in business. So, uh, this was a good test, and you guys all passed because the first time I broadcast from here, I've mentioned it before. I broadcast, I think, a day and a half, like 5 games, before anyone told me that the sound wasn't working in terms of the microphone. So, thanks to you all, you guys passed the test. We went less than a couple ends before people told me the sound wasn't working. So, thank you so much. We're back, and I'm happy to be back. Hopefully, you guys don't mind I'm here. Uh, Crazy what happened there. So we're gonna get back into the action here. Thank you so much. And I would have caught it earlier. Um, we had a brief power glitch on our computer station, and so the computer had to be reset, and apparently that reset the sound settings, and I didn't catch it until you guys brought it up. But I didn't catch it until I opened the chat window, which was also closed. So baby steps, we're back, and it looks like we're near the end of the second end here. Uh, as we're going to see this draw from Meyer look to lock things down, and the first end, Meyer threw his last rock away because he didn't necessarily see an easy path to score two. And perhaps we might see something similar with this end as Murray's sitting one, but there's a Meyer stone on the top of the button in the forefoot. And so I say that Murray's not going to throw it away. He's going for an angle in off to pop out the yellow. So this is a tricky shot. He wants to hit the inside of the blue that Vice Adam Endicott has the broom on. He's got the weight. Does he have the shot? This is the last rock here for Sean Murray. He's not happy with it and not there. Oh, it goes by all three of the blues on the side. So that was definitely a shot that was a high risk, but also a high reward. Um, Also, I said high risk. The risk wasn't too great because if he totally missed and maybe hit his own stone out, it'd only be a force of or a steal of one. So high reward, minimal risk, let's say. As Murray will take a single point and a tie into the third end. And since the sound was off, let's kind of rewind and chat about our sponsors as this event, the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by Curling GG, is brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Throughout the competitive curling season, proprietor Ken Pomeroy updates the site with the latest results from curling tournaments and provides a custom ranking of the top men's and women's teams from around the world at doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Test your skip skills against your friends online at curling.gg, free online curling platform with real physics simulation. And by Endgame Curling, results from curling tournaments, and
Elevate your
provides a
game, unlock
custom
the next
ranking of the top
level
men's
with
and women's teams
Endgame's
from
leading
around the
edge
world
curling brooms and
at
accessories.
doubletakeout.com. And by
Endgamecurling.com.
curling.gg. Test your skip skills against your friends online at curling.gg, free. So happy to be back here. As rocks are in play here in the third end, as I also update our scoreboard. All square at one here in the third end of a possible 8 ends of regulation. As this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. Lead Jeremy Sonke for Meyer gets sets. That first stone from Eric Cowell for Murray turned out to be a center-ish guard, not quite on the center line. So the no-tick rule is not applied for this or for that stone. And that looks like a pretty good draw around there from Jeremy. Looks like it's biting the top of the house, and so Murray could make a play for it or draw around. And looks like he might be going for the more straightforward shots. Actually, opting for a draw around on the other side. Looking for Eric to deliver here. I already mentioned what I'm having for lunch, guys. Talking to the YouTube chat, say they need some Ryanisms, which that's a phrase that I think is brand new. And for lunch, I had some spam musubi, which is the Hawaiian-inspired rice and spam wrapped in seaweed or nori. So that's always delicious. So um, I will nudge someone to update Bonspieler because I also rely on that site for information. It is our tournament site. As we see the next rock coming from Adam Price. Apologies, that's Jeremy's second stone. That Eric Cole rock ended up in the back 12 foot, so just provides just really backing for Meyer and Jeremy Sonke's last rock. And that rock doesn't need much help as it ends up on the back lid in the 4 foot ring. So if you'll excuse this brief pause in my commentary, I'm going to see if we can find out what's going on with the live scoring. I'll be right back. Oh, thank you. So, one of the members of the club, Christina, is checking into that. So definitely thanks to her. And thanks for everyone on the YouTube stream for caring so much about making sure we have all this information and people talking. Um, Looks like we have Adam Endicott, the vice for Team Murray, throwing second, looking to draw around, but you can hear Murray shouting for sweepers, and it's just going to end up ticking the center guard and then rolling wide. I think that was a little light from what they wanted, and Will Meyer is going to try to close the door, shut the door. Thank you. Christina reports that Bonspieler is being updated right now, so in a couple minutes we'll have an update, and we'll also relay it here on this broadcast as we see Adam Price sink low with a smooth delivery, looking to clog the ports, as it were, with a guard. Needs to go over the line. It does. Overcurl slightly, but it seems to be pretty close to where they wanted it, especially for a high hard one takeout. If you throw maybe like a control weight takeout, you might be able to get through that port, but it is a pretty narrow port, as you can see from this overhead view. As we have Adam Endicott with his second rock looking to draw the other side with the in-turn clockwise rotation. It's a little cooler today, it feels like. Have a bit of a breeze coming through the door that's right next to our station. This is going to over curl. Um, Maybe just be a little light again for a second shot. It taps the yellow back slightly. It is Meyer sitting 1 and 2. And so it looks like Meyer is considering his options. He could put another one in, but that gives Murray targets to maybe hit and raise towards the button. So it looks like Meyer is asking for Adam Price to draw to put up a front stone or a guard. Um, Maybe on the right side of this view, but when we just shift to the face-on view, the head-on view, it's going to be on the left side. So Price's intern guard is away. Looks pretty good. And it does clock things up a little bit, but that draw is still there. And that is something that Sean Murray now would like Mike Siggins to take on. Back when I was muted, I was talking about how it's good to see Mike Siggins in the field. His team saw some success in mixed fours the past 2 years, but took this year off. Sounds like there were a couple players that were at another regional playdown and not available for this event, for the mixed fours event. So it's good to see him on the ice, as it's always good to see a lot of these familiar faces on the ice, in addition to some new faces. One of the reasons why curling is such a great sport. This rock is just a little wide and a smidge heavy. The weight was actually pretty good. If we switch to the overhead, you can see how it's almost even with the Meyer shot stone, and still a positive outcome because it does cut Meyer to a single stone, although that may not last as we see Jim Muyo get set for his first stone. Seems like a lot of these players on Team Meyer have really low deliveries. And I can't do that because I am not as flexible as I probably should be. Looking to tap back the blue stone, perhaps, and it looks like it's going to be close. And it taps the Murray stone back to the 8 foot. So now Meyer sitting 1, 2, and 4 with Murray sitting the third shot, but it looks like we're going to see maybe some hit and roll action coming from Siggins as the broom is down. Looking for a decent amount of speed just based on where the broom is. And Endicott's coming down to chat. I think it's kind of after the brief chat, Murray's giving a little bit more ice. I thought I was really, really tight. Siggins had to throw a bomb to make that shot, and Siggins can make that shot, but I think this seems to be a better margin. Probably going to throw control weight at this stone as Mike Siggins throws his second stone of this end. Sweeping to hold the line. It looks to be pretty close. Gets one, but then the shooter's going to roll between the two stones in the back of the house and settle in the back 12 on the edge of the house. So not a bad outcome, but I'd also say um, not entirely the outcome they were looking for. Does cut Meyer back to 1. And brooms down fairly quickly for Muyo's second stone. Kind of a head shake as we see this draw in. Looks to be more of a draw. Oh, it ticked off of the guard, and you can see him raise his hands there as it whips off the guard and settles into the top 8 foot for third shot. So that draw seems to be the safest shot. You could also do like a hit and roll towards the button, um, and that would definitely, I think the draw might be the best shot. The hit and roll um, would get rid of one of the Meyer counters, but it's not count. It's only third shot right now. So you can see where Endicott put the broom, and that seems to be kind of to put the stone in a position to force Meyer in this third end of a possible 8 ends of regulation. So looking for a draw, and I guess also if it crashes on that yellow, it's not a bad outcome as long as it hits it on the inside. If it hits it on the outside, not that'd be no bueno, as the kids say. So Sean Murray gets set. As I noted, if you want to be a stip at Coyotes, I think you have to change your name to Sean because this is the third Sean we've had stipping at Coyotes team this weekend. The other Seans are Tate and Aronson, who we saw last night. And this last rock is away. Looks pretty good. Looks like it's going to get some wick off of the yellow, as I said, as a possibility, and rolls in for second shots. And now the reason why I was thinking the hit and roll was not going to be entirely successful was now Meyer has a draw to the forefoot to sit two. And it looks like Meyer is setting that up as his vice. Jim Muyo has the broom down. Trevor in the chat asked if they all spell it Sean for Sean, and no, I'm pretty sure Sean Tate spells it with the Shaw, and confirming that with my look at the team lineups. So brooms down, and Will Meyer gets set to deliver the rock for this San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club rink. Looking for a draw to the top forefoot, hoping to be buried. Also, don't want to put it in a position where there could be a double takeout. And this looks like it kind of floated out a little bit, but it's going to be enough to hang onto the edge. Uh, so now we need some Bono to counter that edge. I wonder if it. I don't think it hit anything else, so it just maybe kind of floated out on the end. So looking to hit and then roll towards the shot stone. Let's look at the overhead view briefly. So the room's set up to do a kind of a similar shot to what Cygnus attempted earlier. Hits the outside stone or the stone on the forefoot, and then a roll towards the button. Uh, the miss is the miss is to hit and roll towards the center, but not get rid of the shot stone. And then the bad miss is to miss wide and promote the Yellowstone into the ring. This is pretty tight, and it chips off of the guard and will spill to the back 8 foot. So that's another way to miss, unfortunately. As Meyer is sitting two and has a chance for three. Um, so might have the tables have turned, or the turns have tabled, I suppose. uh, Goodness, just a miss there, unfortunately. Room is down for Will Meyer with a chance for three. This is the last rock here in the third end, looking to open up the scoring. His shot's away. And this looks to be pretty good. Also, if you made some contact on the yellow on that side, it's not too bad, provided that it doesn't roll, and it doesn't. So that is a solid shot for three there by Will Meyer and his rink to take a 4-1 lead over Team Murray. Quick pause in the action. We'll be right back to the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships coming to you live from Oakland, California. As we're about to get started here in this next stand, let's take a trip around the rings as we update you on the scores. As we've mentioned on the chat, these scores are also being posted to bondspieler.com, which is our host for live scoring. On sheet A, we have three women's games and sorry, we have two women's games and three men's games. On sheet A, Team McDonald of Coyotes is up 2-1 over Team Camarena of San Francisco Bay Area. And also, as we've been noting all weekend, Team McDonald is being skipped this weekend by Megan Grow, as Andy is representing Team USA and leading the women's team at the World University Games in Torino, Italy. So obviously, we here at MoPac wish her well, and as well as the rest of her team, which includes two other MoPac area curlers. On sheet B, we have the contest between Team Murray and Meyer. Meyer just scored three to take a 4-1 lead over Murray. Sheet C, we have Team Thington of San Francisco up 3-0 over Team Aubrey of Coyotes. On sheet D, we have Team Aronson of Coyotes, the other Sean, or one of the other Seans, up 2-1 over Team Campbell from Coyotes. And then on sheet E, we have the other Sean from Coyotes, Team Tate, all knotted up at 1 against Team Gilbert from Oval Curling of Utah. So that keeps you up to date on the scores. Let's shift our attention back to our feature game. As we have rocks in play, we're underway here in the fourth end. As Jeremy for Team Meyer put up a center guard, looks to be on the center line or close to it. And it looks like Eric Cowell is being asked to draw around on the left side. And it looks like he's trying to get around, and let's see where she ends up in the back of the house. I say back to the house, just ever so slightly behind the tee line, back button. That was a great draw there from Eric. Net stone coming from Jeremy Sonke. I think looking to draw around as well. We're playing up to 8 ends of regulation, although teams can choose to resign early if they feel the game is out of hand. If the game is tied after 8 ends, we have an extra end. Teams get some additional time and one timeout to use during the extra ends. There's only one timeout in extra time. uh, Teams are playing pretty quickly this game, as that draw was successful. And now we see Eric's second shot, maybe. Looking to draw and I think tap it back with his intern tap back. And it looks like the tap is made. You can see it just squirt past the shot stone on the back button there. So Murray sitting 2. That was a good shot there from Eric Cowell. And the broom is down for a takeout. The play is definitely being drawn into the rings here early in this fourth end. As Adam Price gets low for this. Looks to be a draw to the button attempts. This is over curling. Looks like it's trying to curl into the guard. That's fairly light. I don't know if they wanted that. I don't think they would because Murray's sitting two, and that does not really help the situation for Meyer. As Murray is asking Adam Endicott to draw to the top of the rings in front of the shot stone, maybe hoping to. I don't think they wanted to overcurl. Sometimes the skip puts the broom where they want the shot to go, and that is not what Murray's doing right now. Needs to get around the guards, and it looks like it's going to just sliver those guards. Wow, that was a really good draw there from Adam Endicott. I think Murray wanted it tighter to the rings, or in the rings proper, but that you can't ask for any better from Adam Endicott. As we now see the second stone from Adam Price, let's watch his delivery. I would probably have to go to the doctor the following day if I tried to do a delivery that low. And looks like Meyer is going to take out the open stone and roll towards the center. So mission accomplished. A good hit and roll. As Endicott gets set, I think they're going to try some hit and roll magic of his own, and then hopefully roll undercover. And we got the hits. Not much of a roll. It was a nose hit. And I was on mute. Apologies, folks. Sometimes I have some sniffles, and I don't want to, have that on the audio, so I mute, and that didn't work. Let's see if this shot will work from Jim Muyo. And this looks like it's going to. Ooh, it gets around the guard and it hits right on the nose. So, my goodness, guys. Rare is the curling tournament where there's not a broadcast that just has some gremlins. And this might be our cursed broadcast, but I might be cursed. But the action on this ice is anything but. That was a great shot there from Jim. As we see if Siggins can return the favor with a draw. A draw hits. So just maybe a little less weight than what Muyo threw. And it hangs out wide. It's going to roll outside and looks like it might hang on to the very edge of the sheets. And indeed, that rock is hanging on by the hair of its chinny chin chin. So it looks like Meyer, as he hustles down the ice, Meyer with no S, is going to try to draw the other side. It'll be interesting to see how this stone moves, especially as I don't think there's been much play on this side of the ice for this end. So the teams skips are always trying to get rid of the ice, and so when there's not a lot of rocks down a certain path, it's almost a new path for uh, the player and the skip. And this is the first of two skip stones without the hammer coming for Will Meyer. Up 4-1 here in this fourth end. So the weight looks pretty good. The curl, though, might be an issue as it looks like it got close to the guard. And indeed, it crashed on the guard and rolls wide to the right or towards the bottom. And looks like Murray is going to try to put up a stone, I would guess, top of the house to kind of help secure the shot stone in the back of this 8 foot. And then I think force Meyer to a tricky draw with his last. Um, Murray's good with the heat. Let's see how his draw is. And this is Sean Murray's first here with a hammer here in the fourth end. Teams are doing well on time. If they have about 15 minutes after this fourth end, they're in pretty good shape. Uh, 16 might be better because it gives them just a little bit more time to consider tough shots as the game progresses. This rock is a little light, maybe looking for a plan B to wick off of the yellow and then roll towards the center. So not a bad plan B, although I do think that the blue stone would be accessible with a draw to the back of the house. You don't need anything fancy. But it looks like they're opting to try the draw again, which if they were to get around, okay, if they were to get around, they would be likely shot buried, which isn't too bad. But if they're ever wide and Murray can hit them out, then Murray can score two or three, which I think may be part of the calculation that they're looking at. So if they go to the right, they have a chance to be shot buried. Um, if they go to the left from this view, um, the left side, I thought I liked the left side a bit better. The downside of it, though, is that there's that blue on the left side of the sheet. So if they crash on the blue, that'd be bad. On the right side, if they crash on the yellow, there's a chance they could raise the yellow into the rings. So that might be part of the algebra that they're considering. I was joking last night that I didn't do so well in calculus, so I'm going to stick with curling algebra, curling trigonometry. uh, and it looks like the shot is. Oh, they're coming down to take a look at it, I think. Or yeah, Meyer's taking another look at it. He changed. He went down to the hack and is reconsidering his shots, looking for that draw. I wonder if he. I wonder what his thinking was. Um, Maybe he was just more confident about using that blue stone in the back for backing. So Muyo has the room set for the draw on top of the blue in the house as Will Meyer just set for his last without the hammer, hoping to sit shot buried in front of the Murray Stone. And actually, it looks like they're throwing a little up weight, and um, that did not work, unfortunately. So of all the ways to miss, that was probably the worst way to miss, unfortunately. A clean miss, and so now Murray, with one shot, basically just has to touch paint for a third point and to tie the game after four. So just an opportunity opening there for Murray, and just an unlucky miss. I wonder if so. Meyer, I was talking about drawing, maybe a heavy draw. Looks like Meyer was trying to do the in-off double takeout to hit the inside of the blue on the outside, and then kind of roll towards the center, and just not the right line as he flashed everything. And now here we are, Skip Stones, the last rock, fourth end, Sean Murray, a chance for three to tie things up and really reset this game. This has been a pretty solid game so far. And again, I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. Murray, I think maybe wasn't happy with that. It's going to maybe coast through the rings. Needs to sit down. And is it going to sit down? It will not. It whips off of the stone in the back and just rolls through the rings. But that's the score two for Murray to bring the game within a 4-3 draw within one, as it were. I know words. Um, so interesting outcome there from Murray. Obviously, he's got to be a little disappointed that he didn't have the chance to do that extra point to tie things up. But we're going to take a pause here, a 5-minute pause in the action as teams are in the fourth end break. The people were waiting to for the shot on sheet A. That was the pause there. But we'll be back in about 5 minutes as we continue with our coverage of the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. As a reminder, this event is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com and by curling.gg and by Endgame Curling. All right, we'll be back in just a few moments. Roxton play. We are underway here in this fifth end as I welcome you back to the 2025 Double Takeout MoPac Championships, coming to you live from Oakland. This end is being brought to you by Endgame Curling. Endgame Curling manufactures the Endgame Icon and Endgame Origin curling brooms. Eco-friendly fabric replacement, innovative locking and sliding position. More at endgamecurling.com. So Murray is really encouraging the sweepers, and it looks like it just skims the guard, and then gets the shot stone from Meyer out, and the shooter's going to roll wide to the right. So that looks like a pretty good shot. Definitely credit to the sweepers for holding it. As we're here in the fifth end, Will Meyer from San Francisco holding a 4-3 lead over Team Meyer from Coyotes of Tempe, Arizona. And it looks like Adam Price is being asked to peel the blue rock in the house, and it misses, it flashes. So uh, that is not a Kodak moment, even though there was a flash involved. So Team Murray, not having the hammer, is looking to kind of clog up the path to the center of the house. Maybe steal a point here, tie things up. As we see Mike Siggins' first stone of the end, I believe. Um, as I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, which I don't think you guys heard because I was on mute, and I'm not on mute now. We have 12 teams in this field for the men's field, and we have 7 teams in the women's field. So for the men's field, we have 2 pools of 6 teams apiece, and that means that each men's team will play 5 games, and then that will determine who advances to the playoffs after the last pool play game on Saturday night. And we see Jim Muyo get set for his first rock. So the playoff format is that the top 2 teams from each group will advance to a 4-team single elimination playoff. So we have like a 2-game bracket for the finals. We have semifinals and finals on Sunday, which makes perfect sense. And then that looks like a really good draw there from Jim. Let's see if where it ends up with the overhead button cam. Looks like it settles in the top 4. So we have Murray sitting first and third shots, while Meyer is sitting second, and it looks like in a position based on the angles to possibly tap out the blue shot stone, which obviously Team Murray is going to try to prevent with Signings' second stone. And looking to put up a guard, and this looks like the path is the most important part for this type of shot, and looks pretty good from here. So usually I have biographical information to read about each of the players for both teams. Uh, the players provide us biographical information, and it's also used to help seed the teams. We do some peer seeding to determine the pools, and so players provide some information about their experience, maybe some fun facts, and it's kind of enjoyable to share this information with the viewers at home. So for Team Meyer, we just saw the shot from Jim Muyo, and I can tell you that his bio says he plays Vice, and that's it. All Team Meyer did is they listed their positions, so which is totally fine. Just I don't have any fun facts to share, so uh, maybe next time. As we have the broom down for Sean Murray, and I can tell you he's been playing for 23 years. He was given the nickname Angry Bird many years ago, and I can see it. Also, he writes on a Substack page called the Solon Fowlery, fowl as in bird fowl. Some details about his curling experience. He was on the 2022 MoPac and national champion team, playing as fifth, but also being rotated in at second. Was also at the 2023 MoPac. These are all seem to be the club playdowns. A semifinalist as a fifth. Was also a runner-up, playing second in 2024. So, and looks like Mikhail has some fun facts about Jim Muyo, which I definitely appreciate. I can relay that Jim was reportedly an ice maker at Sharks Ice and head ice maker for 2 years at San Francisco Bay Area when they opened. So, which, yeah, definitely he's a familiar face around the club. I've seen him definitely around. And that shot from Murray makes things interesting. I think Meyer has an opportunity here as we shift to the overhead cam. And Meyer is sitting second shot. I think at the very least he wants to put another one in to help kind of, prevent Murray from just having a lot of blues in the house. Although I'm going to use this line now and I'm going to regret it, but it is a house of blues. So Will Meyer's first rock is away, looking to draw on top of his second stone in the house is not quite on top, but it's really close. So looking at this overhead situation, it is Murray sitting first shot as well as fourth and fifth, but there's two Meyer stones that could give Murray a bit of heartache, especially if Meyer was able to maybe run one of the yellows back to pop out the shot stone blue that's right on the button. So looks like the setup is geared to prevent that, looking to draw on the left side here. Put up a front stone, probably a mid guard. You don't want to go too deep and set up a possible run back. Although it would be tricky even if it were there. And this is Sean Murray's last here without the hammer in the fifth end. Murray has his hands in his pockets, just kind of watching it go down the ice. And like I said, the line is the most important part, and you don't necessarily want it to over curl, and it doesn't look like it will as it settles in the three guard position. As I've mentioned before, the guard zone is often divided into thirds as part of the Furby uh, number identification system, where the entire playing area is divided into 10 zones. So with the guard zone divided into thirds, it definitely looks like it's in the third zone, the closest zone in front of the house. And so now Meyer is looking to line up a fairly tricky shot, but this could be for a handful, uh, a cartoon handful with when cartoons only have four fingers. Uh, it'd be for three possibly, as Jim has the broom down for an in-off takeout. Again, level of difficulty is pretty high, although you look to consider the risk and reward equation, and I think the risk is not super high, but the reward is bountiful, as he just gives it a big old shove there at the end. This is the last rock, looking to do the in off, and it looks like it's close. Just pops that outside blue, and Murray gets the steal to tie things up at 4. And we have ourselves a ball game, folks. And we're going to take a pause in the action. We'll be right back as we continue with the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. As we're about ready to get underway here in the 6th end of a tie game, this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. Next time you're confused on ice, take a photo, recreate it on curling.gg, and try multiple outcomes. It's the only platform that lets you take a shot, undo it, and try again. Curling.gg. And it looks like Eric Cowell has put up a center guard right on the center line. That was a solid shot there from Eric. As we see Jerry Sonke push out of the hatch for his first shots. We have some discussion in the chat about my joke about this being a whole new ball game and the fact that there's not a ball involved in this game. Um, although is kind of interesting, and I say this very much a tongue in cheek. I don't know if people will find it interesting or not. Uh, but when I teach learner curls, I ask people if they've thrown a ball before because the delivery mechanic of kind of winding up and pitching or throwing the ball is somewhat similar to how someone delivers a curling stone. And we'll see this in just a moment with the next delivery after Eric's second shot here. Um, and just since we're talking about Eric, just to let you guys know that he's been curling for 10 years, has several championships under his belt, including the 2019 and 2022 National Club Championships. Was also in the MoPac clubs several times, including championship, the champion in 2022. Was in the playoffs in 23. He was a runner-up in 24, all in the lead position. He's an avid wing shooter, primarily ducks and quail. So it's kind of interesting that we have uh, we have a gentleman whose nickname is Angry Bird, and we have someone who is an avid wing shooter. So, and they're on the same team. Uh, as we see, Jeremy gets set for a second shot. So we talked about the delivery. So see him kind of wind up, pull back, and then kind of push forward. He wants to put his energy into the stone as it goes forward. So just like when you when you throw a ball, you're kind of winding up to get your body energy to build up, and you push the body energy into the ball to get the most velocity off of the pitch there or the throw. So with that, we can see the energy from Santi's delivery clip the blue Murray stone that was in the house and pushes it to the back 8 foot. Matt in the chat notes that Eric has a hunting dog, a good hunting dog by the name of Boba Fetch, which is an awesome name. As we see the net struck coming from Adam Endicott. He has a bio, but I definitely want to mention that he and his wife make eggnog every year, and I was able to have some when I was visiting the Coyotes Club last month, and it is, if it's not perfection, it's pretty close to it. It's definitely it's a eggnog that has some adult beverage in it, and it has a combination of uh, spirits, and definitely spirits were bright with that small sample I had. So, uh, and with Eric's shot here, not Eric, that's Adam. Pardon me. Let's take a look over the rings. Looks like that is good for shots. So Murray's sitting one right now as we see the next delivery coming from Adam Price. So one thing that we will not see, like, there's a certain amount of spices in eggnog, but we will not see any nutmeg on the curling ice today, either through maneuvering or through the actual spice. But that was a pretty spicy shot there from Adam Price to take the blue uh, from the center to the outer edge of the sheet. The shooter's going to roll to the edge of the 8 foot. Looks like they're considering doing a in-off shot. We can look at the overhead and kind of see that is what they're going for. Uh, a decent amount of weight for this shot as Endicott gets set. He's been curling for 14 years. Was also on a MoPac Championship team in 2022. Was also the club national champion in 19 and 22. And this shot is made beauty there from Adam Endicott. So he's definitely brought the spice today with a tasty not quite a double takeout. Um, we need a cool name for a not quite a double takeout. But that was an excellent shot. And now Murray is sitting two, one partially buried, as we now see Adam's second stone here in this sixth end. Jim jumps on it early, I think, to hold the line. Ooh, we're getting some drink recipe suggestions in the YouTube chat about how to make a white Russian with eggnog. I wonder what that would be called, because white Russian, I don't know, Santa's beard, perhaps. So that ended up being a little short. I think they really wanted it to be closer to the shot stone. As we looked at the overhead here, it is Murray sitting 1-2 with Meyer having shots 3 and 4 on the wings. As Mike Siggins has his first shot head down the way. Let's say Murray stepped up. I think they're concerned about it crashing on the guard. And then Alex, who suggested the eggnog in a white Russian, says he calls it a nog Russian, but Santa's beard may be better. I guess we'll have to try it for ourselves next holiday season as Siggins puts up another center guard. And just notice that Jim's using a stabilizer for delivery. Uh, it's definitely an allowed form of delivery device, but most curlers at the competitive level use a broom, as we're going to see this rock go through the house out of play, so just a little heavy. Um, and so it looks like Siggins is going to try the draw again. Stabilizers are perfectly fine. At the top elite level, you only see like one or two players with a stabilizer. At the regional playdown level, it's a couple more people. You can see a handful, including Jim there. So Michael Siggins has been curling for 10 years. Stop me if you've heard this before. He was a MoPac champion in 2022 as skip. He was also the national club champion in 2019 and 2022 as skip. Competed in the 2021 Olympic pre-trials. Uh, he notes that he's a frequent but not good golfer. He gave Murray his first cigar. Uh, he can't juggle, and apparently spent 53 days at a Disney property in 2024, which I would hope there's a story behind that. As that draw from Siggins was made, but it didn't curl over enough, so it does set up a heavy draw, uh, a minor pocket as it were, for Muyo's second shot. This looks like it's tied. It might be on the guard, and it is. The sweepers gave up on it. They're calling a technical timeout on the ice. Oh, someone fell on the ice. Oh my goodness. Looks like a member of the Coyotes women's team. I think Aubrey, perhaps. Um, so a pause in the action here. Uh, I definitely hope whoever it is okay. And there's rocks back there. So we're gonna take a pause in the action here and just kind of zoom out for a moment. We'll be back in just a moment. I don't know exactly what happened. For people in the chat asking, they called a technical timeout, and as soon as I did, I noticed that there was a Coyotes player on sheet C who had slipped. Uh, Looks like they definitely hit their head. Um, Obviously, don't want to focus too much on a personal moment. And definitely, there is a pause in the action, and whoever the player is, I definitely hope that they'll be okay. So we'll take that. We'll step away from the action again, and we'll be back in just a moment. And we'll be back when coverage resumes. returning to the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. Thank you for bearing with us as we stepped away briefly so that the player that fell could get the attention that she needed. She was able to get up off the ice and was able to walk off the ice with some assistance. And we are talking to medical professionals right now, so hopefully things will be okay. We're definitely hoping for her to have a strong recovery. So it looks like all the teams took a pause, just given the nature of what happened, and hopefully things will be okay. So looks like we're going to get started momentarily. We'll keep an eye on things. Just something that you don't want to see, but it does happen in curling. Hopefully rarely, but it does happen frequently. I think several top curlers have had falls, and it's usually notable when it does happen. So it's always important to be safe on the ice, and even when mistakes happen, hopefully we have protocols in place so that people can get the attention they need. So. All right. So that is a game on sheet C, and it might be a game that just ends early, as Team Thank to Ride was up 7-1 over Team Aubrey from Coyotes. So it might be a game where they might just be content to have an early conclusion, perhaps. And I do see some hugs being exchanged. And they are kicking the rock. So that game is ending early, understandably so, given the medical situation that's arisen. So as we slowly see some movement on the ice again, it seems like we're getting ready to start the game again. Sheet D is about to get underway. And the other sheets are still paused. I guess the other thing that you can notice is just how you saw each of the teams on the affected sheets see the exchange hugs. It definitely underscores how human and humane curling is as a sport. As players, we can be competitors on the ice, but we're friends off of it, and we're also friends on it a lot of times too. So. Thank you for noting my volume's low. Curious what happened there. All right. I did adjust the sound settings. It got quiet. Huh. All right. You know what it is? I'm on the wrong headset. Okay. So apologies for that. Um, so it looks like we're slowly getting underway here. Um, sorry about the technical difficulties with the volume. Um, I had to change out headsets um, halfway through the game, and I guess I'm still getting used to being on the different headset. Um, so we see the other team from sheet C exiting the ice, as it looks like they're doing some maintenance on the area where the fall was. Maybe, and so I think we may see an extended pause. I'm not quite sure. I was going to say that because I think one of the ice techs is helping with that situation. So we'll take another pause in the commentary. I'll leave it on this view for now, and I'll be back momentarily. We're still experiencing an extended pause on our featured game, as it appears several of the team members are helping with the ice on sheet C after the medical situation that developed. So while we're awaiting them, let's take a look around the rings and update the scores. Uh, Sheet A, the contest between Team Camarena of San Francisco Bay Area and Team McDonald Coyotes. Camarena is up 5-4. And also to note that Team McDonald is being skipped by Megan Grow as Andy is in Torino, Italy with their team, representing Team USA at the World University Games. And again, best of luck to all of the team members of Team McDonald, which includes um, two other MoPac members. That's Andy. That's also Abby Lynn, who plays out of San Francisco. And then we also have um, Addison Neal plays out of Broomstones in Massachusetts. And then we have Tegan Thurston. So I thought there was a third that plays for MoPac, but good luck to them. Continuing our trip around the rings, our feature sheets. Looks like we're about ready to get underway there. So let's resume that while I continue to update the scores. We are to skip stones, and so looks like Murray is in a possible situation to steal. They're sitting shot rock, and I think they're looking to put another one in or put one high in the house. This is going to crash on the. Nope, it's past the guard. And it's going to settle in the top 12 foot. So that's a really good situation. It looks like Murray is sitting 4 from this view. So as Meyer gets the broom down to update, sheet C is the end that ended early. Thing to Durai over Aubrey. It was Aubrey's team that had the medical fall. I don't know the team member though. But again, our hopes and our prayers go to the people affected, especially the woman who fell. Sheet D, Team Aronson of Coyotes is up 3-2 over Team Campbell from Coyotes. And on sheet E, Team Gilbert from Oval Curling of Utah is up 4-3 over Team Tate from Coyotes. So it looks like on our feature sheets, looking for a draw around those guards. This could be an end saving shot, but it looks like it might be over curling slightly. It's close, but it's gonna wick the front stone that Murray just put up and roll to the side. This could set something up though for Meyer in his last. So the broom's down pretty quickly. It looks like they want to do a very similar shot to Murray's last. Just I think slightly more weight, so it puts the blue kind of solidly in the middle of the 8 foot to prevent an angle raise takeout. And that would probably be Myers' best shot to score a point here. But the broom's down, and this is Sean Murray's last here, sitting with a pretty excellent opportunity to steal here in this sixth end. And I thought they wanted it to go deeper, and they're trying to coach it as far as it will go, and as far as it will go will be the top edge of the 8 foot ring. So that angle raise is still there, and You might call that shot a miss, but it does block the direct draw to the shot stone. So I would say that was probably a good plan B to be a little light. Oops, wrong one. So they are going to try not a takeout necessarily, but a raised tap up, as it were, as Will Meyer gets sets. Looking to tap the yellow back. At the very least, to tap it to the forefoot to cut down the scoring. It looks like it's going to be really close, and oh, that's a really excellent shot there from Will um, to hold Murray to just a single point, I believe. Yep. So both teams take a quick look around and agree. It looks like a steal of one for Team Murray, and that was a game-saving shot there from Meyer, even though he wasn't shot at the end of it. Murray was sitting three, I believe, and to cut Murray down to one, that was an excellent shot there from Will. So Meyer holds onto the hammer for another end as Murray adds a point to their tally to take a 5-4 lead over Team Meyer. As we are heading into the end game here with the seventh end coming up momentarily. Just a reminder of our additional games today. We have 4 games on tap. We're watching the second of 4. Coming up at about 5, we have Team Muers from OC Curling taking on Team Camarena of San Francisco Bay Area. And then on Sheet B at about 8:30 tonight, we have Team Aubrey scheduled to play Team Walsh. Team Aubrey was the team that was affected by the fall. We'll see how they progress, and then they'll be facing Team Walsh from San Francisco. That's at 8:30. So definitely appreciate you all tuning in tonight. Um, Sport is interesting because there's a lot of moments of joy, and there's the moments of agony, and then sometimes there's tragedy. And unfortunately, we saw a little bit of the latter today. So, but the game continues, and both teams are making their shots. I was worried that the ice conditions would change with the long pause, and they've definitely been able to continue uh, making these skill shots. With this end being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Jeremy Sonke with his first. Let me show you what I'm seeing. Looking for a corner guard. Down one with 2 ends to go. I think they definitely want to try to score 2 or 3. And that one hogs, unfortunately. So that's another penny for the hog jar, the pig jar. And very quickly, we see Eric Cowell's next shots. He is the Cowell in Cowell-Luska. It's a manufacturer of bespoke aviation-inspired products, if I remember correctly. I talked to him about it last year, and it's a pretty fascinating business that he and his partner are working on at Cowell-Luska. This draw around looks to be on the money. Speaking of bespoke, that was a pretty bespoke shot right there. Um, as the draw was made, but it does create some backing for Jeremy to draw on top of. And this shot here is going to be over the line and good for a mid guard as you look at the overhead view. I'm pretty sure Adam Endicott is going to be asked to draw around again or just draw to the top of the rings as Eric is really sweeping, I think, to really urge it over as much as possible. And now Siddons jumps in to take over the sweeping and looks pretty good. As we see, it ends up in the top 8 foot. So now Meyer is looking for some clearing action from Adam Price, who may be a fan of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. There's there's an illustration in the broadcast area where it's a Waluigi type character drinking a Baja Blast. So there might be a story there. So it looks like they were able to peel one of the guards away as Adam's going to be asked to put the guard back up, I believe. And this looks pretty good. The line's going to be the most important part as well as keeping it in a fairly high position to make the run back harder. So Murray looks to be doing a pretty solid job of what teams without the hammer usually try to do, and that is to control the front and the center of the house and the playing area. And that seems to be Murray's success so far this end. As we see Adam get set for his second stone. So they do have Baja Blast in the club. It's listed as a possible mixer for beverages, mixed drinks. And trying to think about what would go well with a Baja Blast in terms of a spirit. And I'm currently drawing a blank. Maybe like gin, like a gin and tonic. So you throw in some Baja Blast, maybe just add some sweetener and some tropical accents. I don't know. But that peel was successful, so maybe he's earned a Baja Blast. And let's see what Mike Siggins has on tap. I don't think he has a Baja Blast in him because uh, Murray's not in the position to blast right now. Meyer, if anyone's doing a Baja Blast, that would be Meyer. And again, that's another solid guard there from Siggins. And so we're going to see. I don't know if Jim Muyo likes Baja Blast, but we might see another Baja Blast from him. Thinking it might be a little outside, but they just need to peel the guard. Maybe they get lucky and they won't. As it scoots past the rocks and the rings, adds another yellow guard to the pile up front. It's not too much of a pile. Take a look at the overhead. So the shot selection for Murray is fairly straightforward right now, which is why Siggins is able to get that shot off pretty quickly. Looking for another draw. Same type of shot, same line, same weights. And again, another good center guard, really blocking the path to those stones in the house. Murray sitting 2 without the hammer, with a 1 point lead here in the seventh end. And Jim Muyo looking to do another Mountain Dew Code Red. Doesn't quite work as well as the Baja Blast. And definitely peels the guard and gets another yellow on the way out. So there's 3 yellows in front of the house, but there's 2 Murray blues in the rings. So again, I was saying this, the shot selection's pretty straightforward for Murray. They're not going to take a lot of time to talk about the shot because the shot is pretty straightforward. Just block the middle and really force Meyer to come up with something special for his last. It looks like there is a draw on the left side from this view, kind of on the side towards the walkway. Um, we'll see if Meyer wants to take that on, but that seems to be the best chance for a shot. As Murray's rocked us away. And that is a good guard, y'all, in the high zone. So that's a 1 guard. Again, referring to the fact that the guard zone is divided into thirds usually. So that's a high 1 guard. So now Meyer is looking to, I think, maybe try to run back the yellow into the pile in the house. And if it misses, it still has the goal of opening up that side for a possible draw for his last. So they're lining up a possible double. And this seems like a good setup shot too, because if they hit the yellow on the blue and the yellow sticks around for second shot, then Murray, I think, would have to decide whether to try to put another one in to try to hold Meyer to 1 or run the risk of Meyer uh, tapping the other blue out and maybe scoring 2. Although I think that tap would be pretty difficult. But with the setup shot, it opens it up. So he shots away, I think. And the linelet's pretty good. It's a little too wide, but they are going to be able to sweep it into the rings for third shots. So I guess our song reference of this draw is the song War, because I said, good God, or good guard, y'all. And so it's like the song is like war, war, what is it good for? Uh, and so we're trying to do like a warm, as in warm the ice, I guess. It almost works. So Murray is looking to see what he can do to secure the advantage here, sitting 2 in the house right now. And Meyer, I think, has a tricky shot to get a single at this point. And looks like they're going to try and draw to the top 8 foot, I would guess. Not too wide and set up maybe, well, I think being too wide is not too bad. Just you don't want to give Meyer a draw to the button for a single point. And sweeping, this is going to be a guard. Looks like it might be over curling. Not too bad. So it does make the draw harder, but they put the broom down pretty quickly as that's the shot they're going to make. At the very least, if they make it, it's still not shot. They would at least cut Murray down to one as Will Meyer makes his way down the ice. Last shot here in the seventh end. Will Meyer, the hammer, drawing for a piece of the button for a single point. Let's see the draw here. Looks a little up weight, but haven't been down this path for a while, so they might need a little extra weight as the sweepers are going. And it's going to be close as Jim joins in, and it's going to cut Murray down to one, but that is all. As comes up just a little shy. It was a little wide too, but still it does cut Murray down to a single point. So Murray will take a 6-4 lead into the last frame, and you'll catch it in just a moment when we come back to the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championship. This broadcast is presented by authority of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. Although we're more inclined to grant permission if you were able to recreate this game entirely using a tin of party popcorn from the holidays. So here we are, the last end. Murray is holding a 2-point lead, so not insurmountable. But Team Meyer has some work to do. As Eric Kowal puts up the center guard. It looks to be on the center line, so it can't be ticked. And we'll see Jeremy's first rock of this eighth and final end of regulation. And looking to put up a corner guard to generate some offense, that shot was made. And so now we're going to kind of play for a little bit the common strategy where if you don't have the hammer, you want to control the front and center of the rings and the playing area. And if you don't have the hammer, if you do have the hammer, you want to try and draw play to the wings with a corner guard and try to draw rocks behind the guard into the scoring house. So Eric waves bye-bye to it. So I think he's got a little bit more Polish on it than he was expecting. Now, this doesn't look too hot, but it is going to settle in the back of the 8 foot. So not a bad place for it. So Sonky gets set for his last rock, and they both teams have plenty of time. You can see that Meyer has over 4 minutes and 45 seconds, and Murray has just under 9 minutes, which is plenty to play one end of curling. If the game were to go to an extra end, there'd be an allocation of more time specifically for that end, and also one timeout that can be used. If the teams haven't used their timeout, they can't carry it over. They don't get like a bonus timeout for holding on to it. And that's if the game were to get to an extra. So that settles in the top of the house. That was a pretty successful shot there from Jeremy. And so now we have Adam Endicott. With this shot away. I think looking to draw another one in. It's a little light, so maybe they're looking to protect their shot stone. Looks like it's going to get around the guard. And then see it ends up about T-line in front of the previous shot stone. And so that does kind of force play towards the rings, specifically to the shot stone, as Will has the broom down to try to hit and possibly roll off of the shot stone. As we see Adam Price get set. This is a Team Meyer, but they might as well call themselves the Tuckers because I think almost all of them do some variation of the tuck. This looks pretty good. I think they're going to get a little roll off of it. Actually, just pretty much a nose hit. So Murray is indicating that the blue in the back forefoot is shot stone. And so he's looking to do some rock clearing, which makes sense given the scoreboard, given where they're at, as a possibility. At the very least, get rid of one of the yellows. And if they manage to pull off the double takeout, so much the sweeter. But he's looking at his options, and I think is going to do the in-off double takeout attempt. I can't hear what they're saying on the ice, but you can definitely tell what they're thinking about, and then as the the vice skip and Siggins makes their way down the ice to talk about it. I wonder if they didn't like the call, or they don't know if it's going to roll on top of the yellow to get it out. So angles are definitely going to be important for a shot like this. And I think they talked Murray out of doing that in-off double, looking to just chip out perhaps the yellow. And that does seem to be where the broom is positioned. I think also it's a matter of maybe playing the scoreboard a little bit, and maybe they're concerned about the about a miss, or maybe putting the rock in a place that would be dangerous. I kind of like I always like the double takeout, but let's see how this second rock from Adam Endicott goes. This is only the seventh rock to the end, I believe. So we have eight more. We have nine more rocks to go after this. So there's still a lot to play for. Uh, Oh, and that just scoots past the guard and will settle in the top 8 foot. So pretty good positioning in terms of angles. Um, although Meyer can chip out that shot stone blue, and that's what he's looking at. Um, I don't think that it would stick around, so he might be saving that for later. um, needs two to tie and three to force to three to win. So considering his options, looks like they're going to try to do the heavy draw, tap that blue back. As price gets set, I don't know why it's doing this action. It just started. Um, but his rock's away. And looks pretty good as we can see it coming down. It looks like it's actually going to maybe make contact with the blue in the back, but it doesn't. So get yourself a Polaroid. That was a flash there. Although it's kind of funny that modern cell phones they have flashes, but they don't use the flash all that much as night sight or similar types of technology have gotten better. Um, but the broom's down, looking for Mike Siggins to draw. I would think a guard just to prevent the tap out by Meyer. You don't want to tap the yellow back. You also don't want to be in a position to set up an angle raise, and that is what they're going to try. Meyer needs two to stay alive. They haven't used their timeout, and they are tighter on time than Murray. They should still both have plenty of time. Uh, indeed, Team Meyer has just over 3 minutes to make 4 shots, so that definitely seems plausible. Looking back to the situation in the house, the broom is down to try to do the blue-yellow raise. The concern I have is that based on where the broom is, he needs to throw with enough weight. It might actually push the yellow all the way through the rings as Muyo delivers. And that does seem to be what came to pass. Does hit the yellow through the rings. I think one of the blues went away, but it's still Murray sitting 3, up 2. So teams are coming down to talk about it. And so I think the issue is what do they do? Do they try to hit the yellow out, and that would reduce the scoring opportunity for Meyer? That would seem to be prudent, as Murray has just about 5.5 minutes to finish out this end. They did not take their timeout, uh, opting to just enjoy the buffer of time they have. And the broom is down to, I think, let's see where the broom is in relation to the tee line. So it's on the tee line. So I think they're going to try and draw, maybe put up a guard to prevent the run back. Uh, although it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to do a soft weight takeout too. So slight positive release from Siggins. And this is going to be a guard. Over curls slightly. So that settles in the close to the mid guard position of 2. Murray's still sitting 3, but Meyer has a couple opportunities. He can try to tap the yellow up without trying to, hit out a blue stone, which seems to be what they're looking to line up. The other possibility was to maybe try to draw on the top side or the left side from the head-on view. But Muyo is out quick with a missile, dialing up some spicy heat. And it looks like it will hit the yellow on the inside and actually pushes the yellow out of the ring. So just a couple of slight misses here are leading to uh, Meyer not having a good setup here for the last 2 rocks, the last 4 rocks total at the end of snipstones. And so now seeing that the draw is available on the top side or the left side from the face-on view, they're looking to close that door. Kind of a opposite Three's Company because the old TV show from the 70s was Come and Knock on My Door, and us for here we want to close that door. So, but speaking of Three's Company, Murray is sitting 3 right now, and they would be in good company indeed if they were able to stick around and help secure the win for Team Murray. I might need to rebuild this scene because it wasn't triggering the pan zoom earlier, but here we are as we see Murray's first make its way down the ice, a guard action, and looks like that guard is made. Going to make that draw a little bit tougher, although it looks like Meyer is going to try to take it on. Looking for a pretty straightforward draw, but through some traffic to hopefully sit 1. They need to be 2, so this is, I think, good to start with maybe setting up a possible skipper's deuce. Maybe a little tight out of hand. This needs to be, I think, scoring to have a chance. Sweepers are off of it. It's on the guard. Myers a little surprised about what happened, and we'll see if it's going to be handshakes. Looks like they're going to play the string outs, which is totally fine. But they're looking to maybe close the door again, or some other metaphor for shutting out the other team. But I don't see an easy way for Meyer to get 2 here at this point. As Sean Murray's last rock is away here in this 8th and final end of regulation. Murray up 2 without the hammer, looking to place a guard to fasten the hatch and to secure a win against Meyer. So that looks like a really good draw there. And so Meyer's calling their timeout as the other team, as Meyer makes his way down the ice. Let's take a look at the overhead shot here. And let me ask you, the viewer at home, how does Meyer get 2 here? I think they would need a miracle, honestly. Murray's sitting 3. So how does Meyer, outcount those 3 to sit 2? And I just don't see anything. It's there's so much traffic out front. You have a Christmas tree. It's the 4th of July. There's a lot of boulders in the way. Can't do some whitewater. You can't shoot the rapids here with so many rocks in the way. Um, I they're looking at maybe running the blue onto blue onto blue, uh, but that doesn't help. And it's the fact that it's three blues they have to outcount. Um, they're looking to line something up, and I it does not compute, as the kids say. I mean, if we were playing pong, you could have the tennis ball hit the blue on the back 4 foot and then bounce back to the blue in the 8 foot, but I just don't see it. Uh, so it looks like they're kind of chatting between the two teams, and I think partly Meyer has an okay amount of time. They had over 3 minutes a while ago, but as we zoom back to the oh my gosh, did it again. They have less than a minute, so he gets sets, and he had 30 seconds to remain. Gonna throw hope for a miracle, and I guess the question is, do you believe in miracles? And the answer is maybe. That is really close there. But that is going to be a steal of two and handshakes. Will Meyer saw something that we didn't, and it almost turned into something. So, uh, Team Murray secures the 8-4 win over Team Meyer. Uh, Pretty solid game. And as we wrap things up, just another reminder that our coverage of the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg is indeed brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Proprietor Ken Pomeroy updates the site after major curling events to show the statistics of the top men's and women's teams around the world and provides a custom ranking, doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Test your stip skills against your friends online at curling.gg, free online curling platform with real physics simulation. And by Endgame Curling. Unlock your potential with a curling broom that's right for you. Endgamecurling.com. So we're going to wrap things up for this draw. Let's do a quick look around the rings before we wrap up coverage of this draw and set the table for uh, our 5 o'clock game. There's an extra end on sheet A, so we've had a request to tune in on that. So let's poke our head over and see what's going on. So it's a tied game between Team Camarena, not Team, yes, Team Camarena, and Team McDonald of Coyotes. Team McDonald is being snipped by Megan Grow this week as Andy McDonald is off with her team at the World University Games representing uh, Team USA. So looking to see how we got here with this game. It looks like Camarena with the Red Rocks jumped out to a pretty strong lead, but throughout the game, McDonald kind of clawed their way back after five, tying it after five. So a pretty solid game all around. Looks like we are to the Vice Stone. Actually, this is the last of the second rocks right now, popping into the full view. Uh, Looks like so McDonald tied in the eighth with two, so that means Camarena has the hammer coming home here or going away in the extra end. Um, but right now McDonald's sitting two under some cover here on the button around the button. You can see in the bottom center of the screen, teams did have additional time allocated to them, so they have just I think it's just over 4 minutes to play the extra end. I think 4.5 minutes. So it looks like Camarena is going to try to run back the red as this is that was the last of the second stones, and that was from Camarena's second, which I think was Sima Shah. So now the house is open up front, and so it looks like Maiden Grow, skip for McDonald, is looking for a guard from the third, which is Jennifer Collins. I think it'd be kind of funny if McDonald were to win both this event and the other event. I mean, she's a fifth for this event because she's not here, but uh, I'm sure it's happened in the world of curling where it's like, hey, you won this event you were at, but also your team won the other event that you were supposed to be at, but we're not able to be at. um, I think maybe a funny quirk of the game. As we have for Team Camarena. I'm gonna guess this is Sarah Chan throwing the third rocks. I could be wrong. Gets one of the yellows to go out. So kind of a walls of red on the side and then two yellows close to the middle. And right now it is McDonald sitting shot and fifth stone, but there's a lot of Camarena red around the 8 foot ring. As we see the second stone coming from Jennifer. And looking to, I think, draw one down the middle here. And looks like they put up a center guard, but it does look like there is a port for Camarena to get to. So I'm not quite sure who the third is for Camarena. On the bios, it's listed as Monica Hernandez, which is possible. I'm gonna guess it's Sarah Chan because teams can choose, they can change their lineup in between games. They can't change their lineup during the game unless there is a substitution. If there's a substitution, they can bring in, they can change up the order. Although usually it's like a one for one replacement that you normally say, like the lead comes out and then the sub will play lead. But I think the rules do allow a team to change the order if a sub is brought in. Um, so this is the thirds rocks coming down the way. Looks like they're going to do a clearing action. I think that's a good call. Just wanting to keep things open for a draw for the win here, with the score tied after 8 at 7. and it's one, and that's going to be all. So the ring of Camarena Reds continues with a fourth red close to the 8 foot ring. So Grow is selecting the shot. I think looking to draw to prevent the run back seems to be the call, which would make sense. And thank you in the chat. They pointed out the third is Sarah. I just want to make sure I get it right because I've been wrong before, and it doesn't help or it doesn't give full respect to the players on the ice. And so that's something I try to learn in my line of work as someone who works in newspapers, journalism, and that's something I hopefully try to carry on here on the ice for curling. So Grow has 2 minutes to take her last two shots, so plenty of time. Didn't use the timeout here. Looking to, they were considering drawing to the top 8 foot to prevent the run back, and that does seem to be the call that they're doing. Also, if it's a little wide or a little high, it could set something up for Megan's last here. As Megan gets set, looking for a draw. It was interesting how Megan set her angle of rotation at the last second, but if it works for her, that's great. Rock is a little up, at least from the angle on the bottom of the screen. Needs to come back in, and it does look up. I don't know if it's going to sit down in time, and it looks like it will. So, really solid shot there. All right, so it was a great shot there from Megan to sit two. And so Camarena is going to try that angle raise. It's a pretty straight shot, so it definitely seems makeable. Um, and then we'll see what uh, Maiden Grow and Team McDonald do for their last. Uh, Camarena has under a minute now to finish two shots, so I'm gonna guess both teams will take their timeout for these last two shots. There's no reason to risk running out of time in a tie game like this with the extra end. So shots away. Want to make sure the line is okay. I think they want to maybe try to coach it over a little bit as oh yep, coach it over. It's a little wide. They might get one. Oh, and it goes through the port. Oh man, just you had two angles to try to make that shot, and just splitting the difference, split the upright as it were. So as I predicted, Team McDonald calls their lone timeout of this extra end as they gather near center ice to talk over their options. And I think the thing is you can't block both paths to the button. So I wonder if the shot would be to try to draw around the left side of the house, referring to the rings on the right monitor here, or the right side of the monitor. If they were able to draw and sit buried in the 4 foot, that would make it next to impossible, really, for Camarena to score, although that does leave the angle again. And so I think they want to take away the angle. You can't block all the shots though. That's the tough part about this game. You can do everything possible and still not make it. So to paraphrase the great captain Jean-Luc Picard. Our next game's coming up at 5. Might be a little late as we did have that delay for the medical situation, understandably so. So we'll definitely join you when we can for the scheduled game at 5 or so. And the 5 o'clock game is between Team Yours of OC Curling and Team Camarena of SFBACC. So I think they're looking to draw through the ports and prevent the run back that way. If it's short, that's not too bad either. Interesting. So I think Camarena's taking their timeout. And so basically the easiest shot is to try to nose hit the red and then stick around 4 shots. Um, and that definitely seems to be the easiest shot. The port is open, and I guess they're looking at the best way to approach it or to attack it because they don't want it wreck on the guards, and they also want to make sure it sticks around and doesn't roll away. That's those are the two areas to miss, I think. Um, I believe this is the first extra end game of the tournament. We made it a day and a half before we had our first extra end game, but happy to be here, happy to be calling it, and very interested to see if Camarena has an answer for the 2 McDonald stones in the ring. So Seema might be talking about what she sees from the hack. That's kind of a solid approach for timeouts where you have 3 people talking about the strategy, but then you have the lead or someone in the front end staying back to keep an eye on the clock and also to maybe provide input when asked, and then also to avoid setting up a 2-2 tie in the house because you basically have a setup where you want the skip and the vice to have a vote, and then the person that comes up from the front end represents the front end with a vote if it comes to it. Although also the skip can just say, "Hey, we're going to do what I want." So the broom is set up for the outturn counterclockwise nose hits. This is Adriana Camarena looking for a nose hits for the win. Needs to curl up. It looks like it might be on the yellow guard. It's past the guard. And now it needs to sit right on the nose, right on the beak, and there we go. That is a nose hit for 1. And Camarena secures the win over Team McDonald and Skip Maiden Grow. So as we wrap up the coverage of this draw, just to recap the outcome of the ends. On Bonspieler, we have Camarena winning the extra end 8-7 over Team McDonald. We just saw it. Our featured game, Team Murray of Coyote, is the 8-4 winner over Team Meyer. Although Meyer had a crazy shot in the end to make it interesting. Sheet C, this game ended early, unfortunately, because of the fall that led to the medical situation. And again, our thoughts go out to the player that needed to get the medical attention after the fall. Thing to Durai was the winner over Team Albury. Sheet D, Team Campbell of Coyotes was the 5-4 winner over Team Aronson. Campbell scored 3 in the 8 to secure the win. And then on Sheet E, Team Gilberts was up 4-3, and then after 6, and then scored 3 points in the last 2 wins to take a 7-3 win over Team Tate of Coyotes. So that brings you up to date on the scores. We do hope that you'll join us at 5-ish, maybe a little later start because of the how the games ended late. And again, totally understandable given what happened with the fall in the ice. But we do hope we'll see you then after 5. Until then, on behalf of all of us here at MoPac, the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club, and for our sponsors, uh, doubletakeout.com, curling.gg, and Endgame, this is your host Ryan saying so long for now and good curling.